Hello? Hello, participants.
Hello.
Is the PPT visible now?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Visible.
Yes, sir.
Fine, sir.
It's visible.
Yes, sir.
It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Visible,
Ah,
sir.
Yes,
now
visible,
it,
sir.
nice.
Sir, sir, yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, madam, it
Hello?
is visible.
Am
Now it's
I
better.
audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Good morning to one and all present here.
Good morning, madam. Good morning.
I thank you for giving me an opportunity, Nagendra sir and University of Mysore for giving me this opportunity for making this presentation and introducing me to all of you today. So hope you have a nice learning. And I believe that all of you are all over Karnataka. So it is nice meeting you all on this platform. Today, I'm not going to tell anything new. It's just that I'm highlighting on some important developments in the field of HRM, which have been in teaching for the past, teaching and researching for the past 20 plus years. So what are the latest trends? What are the latest changes that has been happening in the field of HRM is what I want to present to you all today. So if it is of any information or any learning, I think my objective is served. So let's go to the presentation today. You can reserve any doubts probably at the end of the session for 5 minutes, but let me take you through the presentation. As you're all aware of, human resource management plays a very crucial role in running the company smoothly. Besides, HRM helps in ensuring employee satisfaction, effectiveness by providing a healthy work-life balance. And the traditionally, what was the functions of HRM is something that was related to maintaining records and trying to recruit people and perform certain functions. But today, I think the scope of HRM has enhanced to something about taking care of employees in the most efficient manner, having a proper, ensuring a work-life balance, easing innovation, generating innovation and creativity, facilitating communication. So all these are something that HR is responsible for today. So the current HR trend deals with changing world. The work world is changing and HR has to deal with it. So HRs have taken into account the trends that influence human resource practices and their implications. So we will see what are these changes. Traditionally, this, as I told you, the scope of HR has been enhanced by then the traditional roles like that from human resource planning, recruitment and selection, performance management, learning and development, career planning, ensuring that your employees have a career path, then about performing the functions of that particular department, reward and compensation, maintaining good industrial relations, employee participation and communication in managerial roles, health and safety, personal well-being. These are all some key HR functions that is a combination of traditional and concurrent functions that the HR department tends to perform. As I was telling you, the scope of HR tends to have been enhanced over a period of time, from being just a record maintenance department to that of performing people management functions and to that of today's strategic focus.
Yakapa. Your class, apa? Your class,
Okay, so it involves people, processes, and day-to-day functions, operations of business organization. So, if you could kindly mute yourselves, I think that would help. Yeah, thank you. So predominantly the HR department today functions as an administrative function like compensation, benefits, maintaining information, compliances of legalities. And And it is also related to managing change agent, the staffing, organizational design, survey action planning, performance measurement, training and development, which is basically within the organization. And employee relation expert, they also have to take up the role of employee relations to ensure that the best talent stays within the organization. And today, they are a strategic partner. What all corporate objectives are being set, it's essential that they tend to help the HR resources to perform and achieve the organizational goals. So they are partnering on the boardroom and ensuring that the culture and change management is being implemented effectively. So the latest trends, and this is what is the crux of the presentation that I want to make today, the changing trends in HRM. So we have seen some traditional roles and some modern roles. Let's see from here how it's taken forward, how the HR function is taken forward, or what are all the changes that has had an impact on the HR functions, which includes, basically some of them that is being taken from different articles, the remote work model or hybrid work model, growing employee expectations or experiences, online training and upskilling and reskilling of employees, employee well-being and mental health, which is again very, very crucial, especially after the pandemic break that we had, cloud-based HR systems, people analytics, virtual onboarding, and artificial intelligence in HR functions. How you can leverage artificial intelligence in the HR functions is something that is the latest trends in the field of HRM. So these are some of the ways, or these are basically the changing trends from 2024 onwards. There's an interesting article by McKinsey that has recently been conducted to understand how businesses can be organized for the future, how the HR can help in organizing the businesses of the future, or to put it in the other words, how they can be future ready. So how are businesses future ready? Basically, for a business to be future ready, they have to have speed and simplicity. They need to grow, scaling up, and they need to learn to innovate. And if you see speed of taking decisions and implementing it, and scaling up the business operations in terms of efficiency and effectiveness, and to learn to be creative and to innovate continuously, is all the three basically are compelled with the human resource talent and capabilities. So HR is the one that propels this transformation by facilitating positive change in all these three areas. So it is people-oriented. If you're talking about speed, if you're talking about scaling up operations, and if you're talking about creativity and innovative, it is only that people can do it. And you tend to recruit the right person at the right place with the right talent set, I think these three characteristics is something that you can build in within the organization. And the article also speaks about 9 imperatives, 9 areas that the HR leaders can help an organization to grow or to be ready for the future. And this depict, I hope you can see the PPT. This diagram depicts the interrelation between all these 9 imperatives. So basically, the HR leaders or a HR department can focus on core areas of the business. That is the purpose, who we are, how we operate, and how can we grow. These are the 3 areas that the HR can focus on to be future ready. Purpose, that which gives a meaning for why the organization is existing. That is establishing and radiating the organizational process. That is why we are here. A clearly understanding of what is the purpose of the existence of the business. Try to understand what are the values that can be created by the HR people, and creating a conducive culture which probably can radiate what the organization stands for. So the black part is like of the diagram indicates the existentiality of the business organization. And how do we operate? The decision making or the talent, skill and talent set that we tend to have, and the structure of the business organization. So we operate through a structure which probably can be flexible, which can be creative by having new models of the structure. If you see, very long before, we did not have something called e-commerce companies. Nowhere in the dreams of retailers, they thought that e-commerce companies will be such a big competition for them in the years to come. In the past 2 decades, that was not the scenario. So today, the model or the structure in which the e-commerce companies like Flipkart or eBay works is completely different than the manufacturing concerns or any other traditional organization structure. So keeping a flexible and new models of structure will help in achieving business operations. And that is also related to people. Getting in the right skilled person, talent, and quick decision making, quick reach to the market are something that again is people oriented. And finally, how we grow. Learn ecosystems, learning, and a proper platform in which the employees can be satisfied and be empowered to be engaged on work. So reskilling and upskilling is obviously very important in terms of growth, because technology changes like nobody's business, and it's important that employees keep upskilling themselves to the requirement of the organization. And creating a platform indicates a right kind of technology use, a right kind of work environment, the right kind of communication and leadership. All these are some aspects that again need to be looked into for organizations to be ready, which can be a responsibility of the HR leaders, building up the ecosystem. So this article throws light on these 9 areas, 9 imperatives that are people-oriented, which makes the future more secure for any business organizations to come. So coming up to the trends of the HR department that we discussed, let's see some of the corporate examples of how they have imbibed these trends and why is it important to have these trends. So it is one of the most remote and hybrid working model. So you're all familiar with when it started and how it started. With the pandemic, I think most of the industries went virtual, and most of the work, for probably the first time, many of our teachers also started remote teaching. And many organizations made the provision to work from home. I think the trend started then. Before that, it was just a benefit, a welfare benefit, remote work. But then it became a norm of life after the pandemic, 2021. And many software companies built up stronger models like the one that we are using today to make digital learning very successful. So working organizations are also trying to go remote, and from remote, we have transferred to a hybrid working model. Hybrid working model indicates a 2 or a 3 day work from office and another 3 days to work from home. This ensures that the employees travel to work and also be a part of the group, building the organizational culture and ensuring that the disadvantages from working from home is avoided. So hybrid or remote working model is something that has been experienced by many organizations today. In fact, a few of them have given complete remote work from home, or probably a combination of it, which is called hybrid model. For example, Trip.com, a Chinese world's largest online traveling agencies, have experienced, a research paper says that they have experienced a lot of benefits from this hybrid working model, like their turnover, employee turnover reduced, there were less number of absenteeism rate, and likely employees did not leave retention. Employee retention was very successful with this hybrid model. So it is one of the most hotly debated topic in today's workplace. Many organizations don't support it. At the same time, many of them do support it. So it depends upon how well the policies are framed to make hybrid model work. All these, I would like to point out one thing. All these recent trends are subject to research as well. The recent trends that have been introduced in HR are something that we need to deliberately identify to see if it is really successful, or what are the factors that needs to be changed so that it can be made more successful. So all these recent trends are subject to research in the field of HRM is something that I would like to point out. So Nicholas Bloom, a Stanford economist and one of the foremost researcher on work from home, has uncovered compelling evidences that hybrid schedules are a boon to both employees as well as their bosses. Closer home, if you see PNB MetLife has adopted hybrid model for winning the market. So by prioritizing employee well-being and embracing a hybrid work model, the company has developed the company has developed a culture of increase in the productivity and engagement. So this strategy has prioritized flexible work arrangements, and employees have seamlessly waved together professional and personal commitment. So it is evident that PNB MetLife has been successfully implementing this hybrid work model to increase the personal as well as professional commitments to bring in a work-life balance for their employees. But are all organizations capable of doing this? Or are there any other factors to be considered to make it more successful? Is something that is subject to research from teachers like us. So the result is as evident in PNB MetLife success are demonstrable, happier, healthier, and productive workforce. The next trend that we are talking about is changing employee experience and expectations. Work-life balance has been one of the most important discussed aspect of human resources for a very long time, probably at least after 2020, when we all experienced our health hazards during that period. So today, the expectations of the employees have changed. HR is not the same anymore again. The kind of expectations from the employees, or should I put it this way, the younger generation who are coming into the workforce has a completely different set of expectations, which the organizations have to cater to. They have to redefine their policies to suit the organizational requirement. This change in employee experiences is something that is again the recent trend that, and it differs from industry to industry based on various factors. The employee experience is a journey an employee takes within the organization, probably from the time he joins till when he quits the organization. So 1/3 of the global employees strongly agree with the statement that the mission or purpose of my organization makes me feel my job is important. So it's very strongly felt that employees should connect sentimentally, emotionally with the organization. They should enjoy the journey. And it is not only about the salary, it is not only about the benefits that the employee gets anymore, which was considered to be one of the important factors. So many strategies are developed to make the employees have a good experience on their work life. So otherwise, the stakes are very high. If you see, social media is very strong today, and organizations fear that if there are any wrong experiences of the employees, it would probably hamper the name of the organization, because it's very easy that the virtual world out there is accessible to many people. As it has many advantages, social media has its disadvantages also. So, like, you can't stop your employee to speak about his bad experiences on social media. He probably can publish an article, or he can give his opinion on LinkedIn or on Glassdoor or on Slack, probably, which will uh, damage the organization's reputation in public if he experiences a patch. So to avoid all this, it is imperative, it is important that the HR department designs their policies to ensure employees have good work experience. So 55% of firms are redesigning workplaces as per changing employee expectations. And this is from one of the articles in India. Organizations that focus on building their X factor. There's a terminology given to this aspect. Its experience is called X factor. It will determine how you attract and retain the top talent and reduce the cost to serve and enhance organizational agility. So it's from the Accenture report. The next aspect is on online training and upskilling. Our platform today is one of the best example I can tell you on online training. So you can do what you want, at the same time listen and learn something which is important to you. So online or virtual training is an in thing today. Organizations to a large extent have reduced their operational costs or training costs by making it virtual. And spread it across to different employees who are stationed in different countries. And thanks to platforms like this, Zoom or MS Team, which has made it possible for all of us. So there's no debate that online learning has become a staple for higher education and training. As on today, there are many courses that encompasses, the subjects are also very wide on the basis of what you can learn online. NPTEL is one example, and many Coursera, NPTEL, edX. So study shows that high self-efficacy often leads to success on online courses. But the success, I mean, it has its own demerits. The success of an online training can be done only when there is self-efficacy, only when there is an intention to learn from the learners. I mean, it's a double-edged weapon. Okay, you can choose to learn or not to learn on a virtual platform, because the connection, personal connection, is something that can go missing. But if you make it interesting, probably the involvement and engagement of learners can be high in terms of organization training as well. Many companies have invested a huge amount of money in ensuring that upskilling and training sessions are virtually done. So just to give you an example here, Indian Hotels Corporation Limited, our famous Taj Hotels, the Tata Group, has does upskilling initiatives targeting hospitality workforce needs. So IHCL operates 32 skill centers across 15 Indian states, partnering with governments, educational institutions, and private organizations like NSDC. So these partnerships leverage that HSIC's industry expertise and try to train people and give them improve their job experiences, to give them employment and to increase their job experiences. So the tie-up or the collaboration with all these institutions will help in improving the performances of employees throughout. So online training and upskilling, whether it is effective and how it can be transferred onto a job, are the areas of research in this area. The next most important aspect of the changing trend can be termed as employee well-being and mental health. This is a talk about in every organizations today, worldwide, globally as well, because for a very long time, mental health was something that was pushed under the carpet, indicating that it shouldn't be spoken about. But today, I think it should be brought it to the public if there is an issue. Recently, if you see, there was I think last week or a couple of weeks back, an employee in ENY, Mumbai, lost her life, and her mother and she was just about 28 or 29 years, and her mother has complained to the CEO of ENY India, stating that there was work pressure. She was had stress so much, work stress so much, that her mental health had spoiled. This is one dangerous symptom that is spreading across working professionals today. And getting aware about your mental social health is very, very important, because we all work to live and not the other way around, right? We don't live to work, we work to live, and we have a social life, and everybody, in fact. So it's important that you know where to cross, not to cross the line, and what is the limits of stress that you can take, and how to ensure that you have good mental health. It's not only an individual responsibility, it is also the responsibility of the organization to develop the policies and procedures in such a way that it doesn't endanger the health of your employees. So work and life are not mutually exclusive, they are inclusive, right? So what happens on the job impacts the employee personal life and vice versa. So we have all experienced this aspect. For employees, fostering an environment that enhances overall well-being leads to a higher productivity and motivation. So organizations spend huge amount of money in designing policies to ensure employee well-being is maintained. And just to give an example here, Novo Nordisk's GSB, Indian company, Indian branch of Novo Nordisk, has developed a lot of employee well-being as in their new programs. Just to mention the two of them, it's called the Flamingo program and We Care Flexible Benefit program. So a Flamingo program is for new mothers, where they have given an extended maternity leave, a personalized transport for their employees, mentorship, lactation room in the company. So all this facility is given for new mothers is one of the welfare benefit given by Novo Nordisk for their employees to ensure their well-being. We Care Flexible Benefit is another scheme where a budget of 50,000 per employee is being allotted, and there are different facilities like fitness membership, or it could be a work from home, daycare support that is sent home in case you have elders or small children at home. So there's a different option that is being given, and an employee can spend this amount on his well-being based on his requirement. So many organizations, like if you take the example, I think the Tatas, the Birlas on their own have developed these programs to ensure that the employees' well-being is maintained. And if you see the dimensions, another point I want to add here, there was a Gallup study that was conducted, and the questions that were asked to employees related to well-being is, if you are a ladder study, it was called a ladder study, on the steps of 1 to 10, let's say there's a ladder, on the step of 1 to 10, what is the status, or what is the well-being status according to you, that you stand from 1 to 10 on a ladder? So if the employees were telling that I was on a 5th step, or I was on a 4th step, or I was on an 8th step, based on their perception. Okay, so like that, 2,800 employees have given a response, and it's called a ladder study. So response to this question. And the Gallup study concludes that there are basically 3 types of categories of employees based on employee well-being: the thriving, the struggling, and the suffering. Okay, they categorize their respondents into 3 categories. That is, the suffering ones, who are from 1 to 4, and the struggling ones are from 4 to 6, and the thriving 4 to 7, I think, and 7 to 10 are the thriving ones. And the result indicated that majority of them staggered around the 1 to 7 steps, that is suffering and struggling. So majority of the respondents fell in this category, indicating that there is something that the organization has to do to uplift the employee well-being. So this was a research that was conducted in 2021, I think immediately after the pandemic period. So it is called a ladder study. You can probably go to Google and identify that. So it indicated that many employees have an issue in their well-being, health, as well as work-life balance. So all the 5 dimensions of employee well-being, like physical well-being, mental well-being, occupational well-being, financial well-being, and social well-being, has to be given the importance. These are 5 parameters, and all these have to have a minimum level of satisfaction for an employee to be satisfied on the job and to be healthy on the job. Going forward, I hope I'm audible and you're all able to understand.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's
Yes,
clear
ma'am.
now.
Yes, madam.
Thank you. The next trend is a cloud-based HR system. If you remember, probably a decade and a half back, most of the IT companies had to maintain huge servers to store their data. And with Salesforce.com and many other companies which came out with cloud-based cloud-based system, where you can store a huge amount of data onto the cloud and pay rent for the space that you use, only was a turning point of IT, in IT industry. So organizations need not spend a huge amount of money on storing data, analyzing, retrieving the data. So you have the cloud-based business systems that was developed by many companies, and pioneering was the Salesforce.com. So today, most of the HR functions can be transferred to the cloud. The data that related to activities can be transferred to the cloud, where it makes the HR manager more focused on people-oriented activities rather than information-oriented activities. So human capital leaders recognize the power of cloud solutions to transform the way work is being done. So according to PwC US cloud-based surveys, more than half, that is 55%, say that there is a big impact of the cloud-based organizations where working can focus on the core area. So we have this very strong PwC and Oracle platform. They have collaborated and helped many clients to transform the HR to move their HR functions onto the cloud. And the results have been very dramatic, and the picture depicts it. So to give you the example, talent leaders probably can be on a front about identifying employee satisfaction, looking into their productivity, triggering innovativeness and creativity, probably rather than having information to do their payroll system or to learn the effective of the training. All these can be done something on the cloud by using people analytics. So 95% of the organizational policies and procedures are standardized across many regions, and this is a benefit. And employees can have self-services anytime, anywhere, on any device today. And this gives the flexibility to work for the employees also on different projects. So if you have a self-service system onto your organization's ERP, so from anywhere, employees can access their pay slip, or they can probably apply for leave, rather than making these routine activities being done by a HR person. The research area related to this. And I also, I think I read an article about how cloud-based HR system is applicable or it can be used even in the small and medium scale sectors. So initially it was thought that analytics or big data analytics is something that is exclusive for organizations with large data. But today, I think with cloud system, we can, even a small or a micro organizations can use this cloud-based ERP system, where I think most of the educational organizations also use some of the ERP system, like TCS Ion is there, and we have CAMU, we have MasterSoft. These are all educational LMS system, which is ERP, where most of our attendance, it could be of students, all these can be put on the ERP system. It can be retrieved by anybody at any time if you give the access to them, rather than have, this is all mundane and repetitive work that can be taken up by the ERP system, which definitely helps in lowering the work pressure on to the organizational employees. And this is one example of how Godrej has tried to centralize this HR processes to serve its employees better. So Godrej decided to bring all its HR processes under one wing, customer people, to improve their customer people experience center. It includes all these centers: Godrej Consumer Products, Godrej Properties, Godrej Agrovet, Godrej Housing Finance, and Godrej Investment Advertisers. So all these subsidiaries have all come into one centralized HR system, which makes it easier for all the employees of Godrej to conduct their HR activities in a most efficient manner. And Sumit Mitra is a person in the picture. He is the group HR and group HR of Godrej, and he elaborates on why such move has helped Godrej as an organization to better serve its employees. This has been cloud-based HR of centralizing the activities has helped Godrej to increase its productivity, as also have a monitor of all these, better control of all the activities of all the subsidiaries they tend to have. The next trend that is catching up is virtual onboarding. Virtual onboarding ideas are always to introduce and welcome new employees into remote teams. Example ideas include grand entrance announcement and new hiring survival kits. So basically, again, this also started during the pandemic period only. So the batches, if you remember, I think most of you would have thought the 2021 batch or 2022 batch. So those of them who are placed were all virtually onboarded because traveling was prohibited and people had to join. Of course, some of the offers were called back, but the ones who joined the company was mostly done virtually. And I think 2 years after also, some of my students whom I talked to told that they haven't met their team at all still. Even after 2 years, they were working virtually and they haven't met in person the team that they are working with. And this is possible today. And that's what we were talking about, remote working. So you can work from anywhere from the world, you can travel and you can work, and this is all made possible with this digital technology. So virtual onboarding is something also is very, very common today. The area of research that you can take up is, are only IT companies doing this virtual onboarding? Or are all the other companies also, small and medium scale companies are also doing this? How effective is it? Are the recruitees who are joining virtually do they feel wanted? Do they feel that they're a part of the company's culture? Are they satisfied? This is something that we are to work on, or probably very few research papers have come out on this area. Like, is it effective? And are the recruitees who have joined and feel that they belong to the organization on a virtual mode, or is there a disconnect? How can that be avoided? All these are something that is subject to research when you're talking about virtual training or virtual onboarding. This is another corporate experience of how Deloitte has digitized and gamified their onboarding process. So new employees form teams with other starters. In Deloitte, this is practice. So they make the teams of all the new recruitees, and they are being told about the policies, procedures, ethics, all of it. They're given the information virtually. So, and there could be discussions based on that of the newly recruitees to address any queries that they might have. So Deloitte has also created a virtual office tour, which is like a video game. So it starts like with a scene at the airport where the visitor chooses their destination. So if I am from Bangalore and I've joined Deloitte, so from Bangalore, Kempegowda Airport, the virtual travel goes up to where the head office or where the orientation happens. So they have made this destination wise. So the visitor fly to that city, probably an aerial view or drone aerial view of the city is given so that he can experience that he is joining the company. Suppose the orientation or the induction is in Hyderabad. So from Bangalore, I fly virtually to Hyderabad. So I see the city of Hyderabad on to the flight and then go into the office right from the security. So they've made this virtual traveling also possible to just to make the feel of joining the company more exactly. So virtual onboarding is becoming so scientifically, what to say, real, but not actually real. So efforts have gone into making the newly recruited feel good about joining a particular company. So this is about onboarding. Social HR, or to say the other aspect is the other thriving trend in HR is using social media for HR functions, which is called social HR. So social media are interactive technologies that facilitate the creation and sharing of information or content through virtual communities. So we are all very familiar and adapted to social media, though we were not growing up with it. At least I was not growing up with it. So imagine now the youngsters have born with it. They are in fact the age of 2 or 3. They are connected to social media. They're connected to their mobile phones, and they know what it is to post pictures and see movies. So this is a very profound impact on youngsters today. So social HR is a practice of using social media to perform the HR functions. So HR professionals may use social media channels like LinkedIn or Facebook, Twitter to perform these functions of increasing employer branding or talking good about the company to attract or write articles related to the company to attract the right talent. So they may also use social tools that are developed internally to the organization also to organize HR initiatives. So this is another in thing, but how impactful it is, and how just to give you an example, we have one of the function in HR of reference checking in the selection procedure. Today, most of the reference checks are not done through your phone or through your mail. It's done through your social media. So if an recruitee, an employee is applying for the company and he has crossed a certain level of selection process, to refer what kind of a person he is, we don't go back to the company, or executives are not, or recruiters are not going to the company where he's worked or the college that he is working to. They go to the social media, they go to his FB page, they go to his Twitter page and see, or LinkedIn. And Instagram is again another social media, which is very common among the youngsters, to see what his interests are, to see what his contents are. So this is, social media has been a reference check for companies, for recruiters today. Like that, many functions can be performed using this social media, encouraging employee participation in the social media, gamification, and to boost the employee morale. The sense of belonging can come from the third party or from an encouragement from different people. So to increase the motivational level, social media can also be one of the tools. Many companies have used it in a right manner to build their employer branding. One such example here is where Marriott has been using gamification for recruitment process on social media. So My Marriott Hotel is a game that they have developed. Is developed by Marriott International for recruiting new people. So this is a game that the recruiters play, virtual game that they would play. And in the process, they will be evaluated about how they manage a crisis, how they take a decision. And based on that, selection tends to happen. So this is one of the use of the social media, and many comments, and it's on the Facebook, and they would tend to recruit through the people who are playing these games. So when they win when they can win points and a very satisfied customer, then and they lose points for poor customer services. So based on these points and the people who tend to play this game, they recruit employees. So this is one of the innovative ways of recruitment that Marriott International has adhered to. The next most important or something that we cannot overlook is people analytics or HR analytics. People metrics is like an essential pair of glasses. Without them, workplace data is not visible. It might be visible, but it is not intelligent. So unintelligible. So we need to use the right kind of metrics. Today, most of the HR functions are converted to quantifiable metrics, which will help in understanding the impact, effectiveness, efficiency. So with the right lenses is analytics. Patterns, trends, and discrepancies can come into focus, and organizations can approach decision-making process properly. So we have a lot of metrics that has been evolved over a period of time to measure the effectiveness of HR functions, or which will help in making better decisions in the organization. So basically, HR analytics can be of 4 levels: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics just tends to give you the data of what it is. So what is it? What is the kind of recruitment you do? What is the number of recruitment that is being done this year? Can be analyzed, and it is descriptive analytics. It tries to say what of a particular aspect. Diagnostic analytics indicates it's the next level of analytics where you're trying to find out why of the problem. So why has recruitment being unsuccessful? So you try to, based on the data, you try to analyze the why of certain trend or certain pattern. You try to probe and to find out what is the reason behind why this incident has happened. So, and all these are based on the information or a data that is to be collected. So if you have the wrong data, descriptive will be wrong, diagnostic also can go wrong. Predictive analytics is furthering the trend. You're trying to extend based on the past events, you're trying to extrapolate the events. So analytics, which will help in predicting the future, like regression can be used, linear programming can be used. So predictive analytics is where you're trying to predict the future trends based on the past events. Prescriptive analytics is definitely the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence, where the analytics helps you to find certain solutions. It throws certain solutions to solve the problem. It's a higher level of analytics where by using ML, machine learning, or IoT, or probably artificial intelligence, it throws out certain solutions that needs to be taken into consideration for solving a particular problem. Of course, that is of high level, and I'm not very proficient in this manner. And I'm also learning analytics at an initial stages. So basically in business analytics, you have these 4 levels. And likewise in HR also, we have descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. And we have a lot of HR analytic tools as well, like Tableau or Power BI, which is data visualization. And we have PeopleSoft from Oracle, and we have SAP HR. All these are basically analytical tools to maintain the information and come out with certain diagnosis, which will help in better decision making. I was talking about metrics or analytics. There are a different way, huge amount of data. When it is there, you use advanced tools like Excel, or you can use Python or R. But they're basically within the organization converting a qualitative metrics into quantitative metrics is what HR analytics is all about. You can have different, most commonly used HR metrics are like this: turnover metrics, competency metrics. In competency and training, you have different metrics. Again, you can measure what is the effectiveness of training. You can measure the training hours. You can measure the impact of the trainer. These are all some metrics, subtopics of competency and training metrics. You can have employee productivity metrics. You can have workforce profile metrics, employee engagement metrics, and recruitment metrics. You can get more about this when you tend to go deeper into the subject. Just for an experience sake, I want to just take one metrics, that is employee turnover rate. Okay, this is one of the metrics which is very crucial to understand the number of people who leave and join an organization in 1 year. So employee turnover rate is a measure of how many employees leave the company in a given period, usually a year. So it's calculated, it has a formula. It is calculated by number of departures divided by number of employees who are there into 100. Okay, I'll take an example which will make you understand better. XYZ Tech company had 125 employees on January 1, 2021. The company hired 25 people, and experienced 15 separations during the rest of the year. So the company hired 25 and experienced 15 separations. 15 people left the organization in that year. So on January 1, 2022, that is after a year, there were a total of 135 employees. Calculate the ETR. It is employee turnover ratio. So it goes this way. On January 1st of 2021, XYZ company had 125 employees. At the end of 2021, there were 135 employees. So 125 plus 135 divided by 2. That is the average is taken, 130. Separations were 15. 15 of them left the organization. So the turnover ratio is 15 divided by 130, which is 0.11 or 11.5% is the turnover ratio. So if it is a very simple calculation like this, it's easy for us to apply the formula. But imagine an organization which has 10,000 employees, and in each of the subsidiaries, there are different number of people who have joined and left. That data has to be analyzed, might not happen in one particular formula. And that is the reason we need R, or we need Python, or probably Excel also to do the calculation, because the data or the information is humongous. It's huge. I would urge a few of you to take up this problem and calculate the ERT rate, if possible. Otherwise, I will skip this. It's just for an experience that I have put up here. Book publishing company analyzed the remaining number of employees every 3 months. Analyze the turnover every 3 months. So they saw that many employees resigned during the year and wanted to find out how many employees left. That is descriptive. Basically, this is descriptive analytics. So the company did not hire any new employees this year. Use the below information to calculate the attrition rate for the year 2022. So if you can try going back to the formula, it is number of employees who left the company divided by the number of average number of employees into 100. I'll just give 2 minutes, otherwise I'll just move forward and tell you the response. It is number of employees who left, that is 500 minus 450, which is 50 employees who left, divided by average number of employees, that is 500 plus 480 plus 460 plus 450 divided by 4 into 100. That will be your attrition rate. Moving forward, they have a 10.5 rate of employee turnover. Okay, so 50 people left, that is 500 plus 480 plus 460 plus 450 divided by 4 is 472.5. So 50 divided by 472 is 10.58 is the attrition rate.
10.58.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So this is, if you're teaching it in the classroom, probably these are calculations that you can make. And likewise, you can make for all these HR metrics. You can create problems for all these HR metrics and understand what is the basic behind HR metrics. But as I told you, if there is a huge amount of data, you definitely have to use the advanced tools like Excel or R or Python. After people analytics, it is artificial intelligence in HR. Using a part of it is also a part of people analytics, and artificial intelligence is the talk of the town. So if you see even on your computers or on your phones, you get an AI assistant. So ChatGPT, our students, all of our students, I think, know how to use ChatGPT, Perplexity. So this is in search engines where it is more easier, and you get any amount of data. It pulls out information from all over the world, from websites, and throws to you, and you can. This is made easier. It has its own merits and it has its own demerits. But in HR, can we use artificial intelligence? Is it a good tool to use artificial intelligence? Is something that is again subject to a lot of research. So many HR leaders feel a sense of urgency about moving forward with artificial intelligence in the HR functions. So 38% of HR leaders have explored or implemented AI solutions to improve processes efficiencies. HR leaders may see that human-like text generation capabilities of generative AI, like ChatGPT, as a way to save time and effort for the HR team. But is it the right thing? Are there pitfalls? Is something that we'll have to see going forward. But yes, in recruitment, they have implemented AI application tracking system. And in selection procedures, they have used AI. So companies are trying to implement, but I think it is in the nascent stage and it's the very beginning stage. And we should be cautious about how we are going to take AI in the field of HR because it is related to people management. So this is an interesting article by Rajesh Rai, who says that he is VP, people head of APAC, Global Logic. So he says that HR managers are very cautious about using Gen AI, especially in people-oriented or people evaluation skills. So in the current landscape, talent that stands out demonstrates proficiency through practical application and real-world experiences rather than theoretical or certification knowledge. So today, employees are supposed to, are supposed to have a real-world application rather than have theoretical or certificate knowledge. So metaverse, that is AI, is a lasting force with ambition to seamlessly blend virtual as well as physical experiences for future potential. So this is, as I told you in the beginning stage, and there's a lot to be explored of how artificial intelligence can be used in the field of HR, or whether it is, they have started using it, but whether it will be without the pitfalls, without the disadvantages, is something that needs to be explored. All this put together, talent management has completely changed. Managing talent is one of the crucial aspects of people management today, or HR management today. So recruiting the right person, developing them, retaining them, and rewarding them in an efficient manner is a part and parcel of talent management. And we have this quad model. Okay, the quad model that is again developed by McKinsey, which talks about planning for talent, acquiring the right talent, developing them, and retaining them. These are the link points to see that you have the right kind of people in the organizations. And the trends that we saw, all of them aim to achieve what is talent management today, or what to get the right kind of people. I have a few HR situations. I think with this, I close my presentation. Based on the knowledge, or based on the information we gave, there are actually, I think only two I have. Two situational analysis that I would like one of you to participate. So this situation goes like this. Rashid, chief manager with MCOM and a CA and 30 years of service, I think there's a spelling mistake there, in the bank, of late is turning blind due to some health issues, okay? And it is risky to keep him as a manager. He's an influential person with the head office and also has a very good track record. What, as a HR person, what will be your course of action? Anybody can answer.
Ma'am,
Hello,
he
ma'am.
might be taken as a consultant, off-board consultant, something like that, where his suggestions or his advice can be used for the betterment of the company.
Okay.
But we may not be using him in the regular
Back
day-to-day
process,
office.
back
Yeah, back
operating.
process. Yes, yes.
We can be given the role of a mentor to
Yeah,
the
mentor or a consultant, something like that. Yes, yes.
Yeah, consultant might be an outsider. That means you're
Yeah.
out of the
mentor.
job. Okay, mentor within the organization.
Exactly.
Because he can be of use to guide the youngsters
True.
in terms of performance.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's a good answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Next one. All India Bank has conducted a special drive, recruitment drive for appointing agricultural officers to select 40 candidates in the state. Bank generally transfers officers once in 3 years. So the final list of 40 candidates had 35 females and 5 males. The committee was not happy as the job included extensive travel in the rural areas. What would be the option of the HR in such a scenario? The options are given here. Which do you think would be a better option? Terminate the recruitment, recruit them as banking officers and transfer others already working in the bank to the rural areas, or go ahead with the final list and allow girls to work as agricultural officers. Call for a board meeting and decide any of the above.
Ma'am, should not be any problem, madam. They should go ahead with the recruitment because the female employees, officers who have been selected, they know the job profile or job role, and they have agreed to it and they have been appointed.
Yeah.
So there should not be any discrimination made. That is what is my.
The third option is the right one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's what I feel.
Even we feel the same way. Because the people who have selected will be knowing about their job profile
Exactly.
and job description.